Hello, my name is Jason Sullivan with Unleashed.news. I run an investigative research firm with longtime Trump attorney Peter Tickton. The reports and shows that you'll see here on Unleashed.news are part of our ongoing investigations. Stay tuned. When President Trump was in office, America was not drawn into a single new war. Not one. His administration worked tirelessly to pull our troops out of endless conflicts, crafting an exit plan for Afghanistan and brokering the historic Abraham Accords, which brought peace to the Middle East for the first time in decades. But his achievements didn't stop there. President Trump made history as the first U.S. president to cross into North Korean territory, dissolving decades of tension with a single step. Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un at the DMZ was unprecedented, a powerful demonstration of diplomacy that no other president had ever accomplished. And yet, somehow, miraculously, a man who could barely fill a room, a feeble Joe Biden, secured more votes than any candidate in the history of the United States. 80 million votes, they told us. That's more than the ever-popular and charismatic Barack Obama, and even more votes than Hillary Clinton. 81 million votes versus a candidate who consistently filled stadiums with tens of thousands of enthusiastic supporters. So many that thousands more had to remain outside because they couldn't fit inside the packed venues. The moment Biden and Harris took office, everything changed. Tensions in Ukraine flared up almost immediately, and before the American public could even grasp the situation, our nation was dragged into the proxy war with Russia. Since the Biden-Harris administration came into power, Congress, the Senate, and the administration itself have approved a staggering $225 billion of American taxpayer money for Ukraine, funding that drives this escalating proxy war. Both houses, with universal Democratic support, and 2/3 of Republicans have rubber-stamped these packages. Just last week, the U.S. committed additional $20 billion to Ukraine as part of a broader loan initiative coordinated through the G7. The Pentagon and CIA have also applied pressure, pushing America deeper into this conflict. To put this in perspective, the U.S. could have secured our entire southern border 12 times over with that same amount of money. 12 times. And it's not just Congress and the Senate. Biden-wielding presidential drawdown authority has redirected funds designated by Congress to the Department of Defense 57 times. In total, he took $25.2 billion from the Department of Defense and gave it to Ukraine. He did this without oversight, sidestepping both Congress and the Senate. And at the tip of the spear of Ukraine's military forces is the Azov Battalion. Hailed by former President Petro Poroshenko as Ukraine's best warriors, he awarded them the Order of Bohdan Khmelnytsky, a high military honor for outstanding service in defending Ukraine's sovereignty and security. Take a close look at their symbols. The entire 7,000 troop member strong Azov Brigade clings defiantly to unmistakably Nazi insignia, like the wolf angel and black sun, symbols that represent a dark and violent ideology. These emblems aren't hidden. They're proudly displayed on every official flag, patch, and piece of insignia, worn visibly by Azov troops on their uniforms, flags, and equipment. This is not an isolated situation. It's a deliberate choice and blatant display of loyalty to Nazi ideas that contradict the very principles America claims to uphold. Yet, we're told to look the other way, to trust our government's narrative, over what we can clearly see with our very own eyes. Billions of on-track taxpayer dollars flow into Ukraine, funding an organization that makes no attempt to disguise its true nature. This far-right alignment isn't confined to Azov alone. Numerous other battalions, militias, and paramilitary groups such as ADAR, Right Sector, C-14, these groups operate under the same ultranationalist banner, representing a broad coalition that extends well beyond any single brigade. Biden and Harris knew who these people were. In fact, Congress attempted to block aid to Azov in 2015, 2018, and again in 2019, citing their plans for Nazi resurrection and human rights abuses documented by the United Nations. The UN reported on Azov's atrocities between 2014 and 2016, detailing unlawful detentions, torture, and heinous acts. The US government itself acknowledged Azov as a dangerous Nazi organization. But under the Biden-Harris administration, these concerns have simply vanished. The Pentagon and CIA have argued that Azov has restructured and now meets all vetting standards. President Zelensky, when questioned, casually dismissed the matter, saying, "They are what they are." And we, the American people, are expected to ignore the Nazi symbols still prominently displayed on their uniforms, flags, and social media, which reflect Azov Battalion's culture and ideology. The Biden-Harris administration, with bipartisan support from both Congress and the Senate, has funneled $225 billion of American taxpayer money into Ukraine, supporting a war effort that's spearheaded by real-life Nazis. And this proxy war is not just about Ukraine. It's dragging us closer and closer to a direct confrontation with Russia. World War III is not some distant possibility. It's very rapidly becoming our reality. The stakes couldn't be higher. Biden and Harris have aligned themselves with extremists while risking global catastrophe. This isn't just poor policy. It's beyond reckless and beyond dangerous. But this is just the beginning. In part 3 of our October surprise, we'll uncover hidden agendas, the dark forces behind this proxy war. We'll reveal who's really pulling the strings and how deep this rabbit hole goes. Don't miss it. You'll see irrefutable reason that a vote for Kamala is a vote for the re-emergence of the new Nazi regime. Stay tuned.